With that story, more headwinds at SAA, with employees facing an uncertain festive season and New Year as the airline restructured. At least 900 staff may be left out in the cold. Finance Minister Tito Mboweni announced during his mid-term budget that the state would pay off SAA's more than R9 billion debt over the next 3 years. But SAA has racked up a tab of over R28 billion in cumulative losses over the past 13 years. For more on that story, I'm joined via Skype by aviation expert Jochem Vermoeten. Jochem, thank you so much for joining us. News coming through late yesterday. Were you surprised by the news that there is a restructuring of this kind on the horizon for SAA?
No, I think everybody expected it. It's certainly long overdue. The scale of the airline has been reduced in the last few years, and therefore its costs need to be adjusted in line with the scale down of operations. That is a general trend in today's airline world, where many airlines actually refocus and what they call balance supply to demand every 3 months, and then they've got a revision of available resources and what their demand is like.
Now, I just mentioned comments made by Finance Minister Tito Mboweni, and in his medium-term budget speech late last month, he did say it was unlikely the SAA would ever generate sufficient cash flow to sustain operations in its current form. Is this latest news to come out about SAA a move towards the plan to bring in a private buyer? What's your view?
Well, I think first it needs to be restructured in a way that it's sustainable from a financial perspective. You won't find many investors that invest just to lose the investments. Investors normally like a return on assets and a return on investment. So that's the first step that needs to be achieved.
Now, Richard Branson is in the country. If you follow his social media accounts, he has said that if approached, he'd consider buying SAA. Do you think, from your knowledge of the character of Richard Branson, that would be a serious comment to be considered? And have we heard of any other potential private buyers who'd be interested in getting involved with SAA?
Well, Mr. Branson is certainly an entrepreneur, and he's had quite significant success in the airline business. I think the bottom line is, can you actually convert it into a profitable enterprise to earn a reasonable return on investment? That's really the crucial issue for any investor, whoever they may be.
Now, from your understanding of the inner workings at SAA, it sounds like it's quite a complex business structure to begin with, various entities that fall underneath the umbrella of SAA. But the SAA CFO has said that they might look at another round of restructuring or retrenchments once this one is complete. And you're looking at a fifth of their workforce being affected just by this first round alone. What do you see going forward? Why do you think they've opted to cut the workforce at this stage? And what do you think is the bigger picture going forward?
Well, I think the crucial issue is that they need to rebalance their operational costs to their available income. And if that's excessive, you have to actually implement the costs. The airline industry is a dynamic industry, so in many cases, every 3 months, airlines actually rebalance their supply to demand. And in other words, they review their operational results and make the necessary changes very frequently, not only with a major restructuring, but as a matter of ordinary course of management.
Now, SAA's technical department has been in the news over the last few months for not the best of reasons. They're talking about various divisions being affected by this first round of restructuring. From what you understand, where would be the departments that they would target this first round of restructuring?
I think they will look at the whole needs of the company, and it will affect all divisions within the company as a first round.
Well, we've heard quite a bit of comment from the unions involved. They're saying that they weren't consulted. Do you think this kind of restructuring is avoidable? Could there be an understanding eventually with the unions that to save jobs going forward, that they need to go through this restructuring to just save the business?
Well, I think that is definitely necessary. This is the start of the negotiation process and not the end of it. So I think there is a mechanism to actually start negotiations, and this is the formal method. So what happens in the negotiation is a matter between management and the unions. But I'm sure that the unions will accept that there is a need for serious restructuring at this stage.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time.